Thank you. Thank you for attending our presentation on meditations. Our topic for today's presentation is affirmation. Affirmation. An affirmation is a declaration that something is true. Parents have a great responsibility in raising their children. It is not enough to provide food, shelter, education, and health care. It is also our responsibility to study our children and find out about their gifts as they grow up. We often affirm to our son that he is an actor and a leader. As parents watch their children grow, they often notice certain tendencies or talents. In the case of our son, we noticed leadership skills as well as acting talents. But in time, if the child does not utilize those skills and talents, they become dormant. As parents, it is our responsibility to continue to affirm those talents and skills, and if possible, take action in order to lead the child towards those skills and talents. An affirmation is a statement of truth. Affirmation paves my way into the future. I affirm today what I want to become tomorrow. I do what I need to do to begin the journey, and I surrender everything to the Tao. The Tao leads the way, and I arrive with minimal effort. Amen. Let us read from the Universal Holy Book, the Book of Psalms, chapter 52. The Book of Psalms, chapter 52, on page 245. Chapter 52, page 245, the Book of Psalms, and it says, return to origin. Okay. When creation began, Tao became the world's mother. When one knows one's mother, he will in turn know that he is her son. When he recognizes his sonship, he will in turn keep to his mother, and to the end of life will be free from danger. He who closes his mouth and shuts his sense gates will be free from trouble to the end of life. He who opens his mouth and meddles with affairs cannot be free from trouble even to the end of life. To recognize one's insignificance is called enlightenment. To keep one's sympathy is called strength. He who uses Tao's light returns to Tao's enlightenment and does not surrender his person to perdition. This is called practicing the eternal. May the reading be blessed. Amen. Thank you for joining us, and we are very grateful for your continued support. I encourage you to take advantage of our new development, the newsletter. The newsletter is called the Living Well Newsletter. You may go to our website at unism.org for more information. The Living Well newsletter is a weekly newsletter, and it is free. Our topic today is affirmation. It brings to mind certain things I wrote in my notebooks over 40 years ago. And one of them is about poverty. Actually, it came from, when I look at it, I copied it from one of my high school books on literature. And when I read it, I think it came from Thomas Gray's elegy written in a country churchyard. And here it goes. Poverty is a militating force against the endeavors of human beings. Many natural talents are undeveloped because of material resources and financial ability to unearth the latent gifts. There are some brilliant people who could have developed their talents to the world's great advantage and enshrine their own names in letters of gold. But because these people are poor, their intellect remains dormant and unseen. They therefore die unrecognized, since their worth is unrealized, and in this to the disadvantage and colossal loss of mankind. Okay, what Thomas Gray is saying is that actually the poem is full many a gem of purest ray serene. The dark unfathomed caves of ocean bare, full many a flower is born to blossom unseen, and waste its sweetness on the desert air. Here, Thomas Gray may have a point there, but we have also realized that poverty is really not the last answer. I mean, it's not a militating force if you have a dream. And that reminds me, I know there are so many people who think that money is a problem. It is an obstacle towards realizing their dreams. And I was one of them. Yeah. Mine was different because somebody came and told me that that is not true. That money is no obstacle to anybody who wants to realize his or her dream because of the generosity of the universe. Yeah. So after this man taught me about the generosity of the universe and that money is not an obstacle, I wrote another one down. And this one is from one of the mystical organizations that I joined at the moment. And it says, the natural movement of life is forward. The natural movement of life is forward. Even when we hesitate and draw back, the forces of unity and fulfillment work to prod us forward, to push us forward. So we have a gift here in our world that we are really not limited. If we have a goal, an idea, something that we want to do. And this is how Joseph Campbell put it in his book, Transformation of Myth Through Time. He compares our journey to a mythological adventure, and he says, living the bounded world in which you have been brought up, going beyond all that anybody knows into domains of transcendence, and then acquiring what is missing and coming back with the booty. You see, what he's saying is that any quest to acquire knowledge, to improve the condition of mankind, to help the poor, to heal the sick, to save the children, to feed the hungry, or to accomplish a life mission is like a mythological adventure in which one goes beyond what one knows into domains of transcendence and acquires what is missing and returns home with the treasure. Now here is the good news. Heroes in mythology are usually given all sorts of help in their quest for the Grail. The same is true for you and I. You see, it is not just a mythological adventure. Your adventure is a mythological adventure, so you are also open to the same help that these heroes get. See, there is an invisible source of support for all of us. So the advice is to go ahead with your dreams or desires, and you will experience the source of support when you begin your quest, because the support is part of the journey. See, this is really great news for all of us, more especially those of us who are downtrodden, those of us who are poor, and we are thinking there is no way out of this poverty. So what these people are telling us is there is a way out. It just depends on the strength of your dreams, you see, and what you are willing, the little you are willing to do. So let this be as a wake-up call to all of us. I told you earlier, I was also in the same mindset. And that is where affirmations come in, so that you can neutralize that mindset and open up your life to the mystery of abundance within the universe. Now, let's begin with some of the famous quotes. I like the famous quotes because these are people who have walked the walk we are now walking. They have achieved their dreams. People like Einstein, okay, people like Muhammad Ali, okay, people like Brian Tracy. These people have achieved their dreams. They are living the dream. So when they talk, we listen, because we are listening to the voice of experience. We are listening to the voice of achievement. We are listening to the voice of success. Now, affirmations. Affirmations are statements going beyond the reality of the present into the creation of the future through the words you use in the now. You see, you are creating the future. Irrespective of the present circumstances, you see the future and you begin to create it at this very moment. Okay, and this one was from Louis L. Hay. Number 2, believing there is a solution paves the way to a solution. See, believing that there is a solution to your problem paves the way to a solution. In other words, if you have a problem and you say, well, that is the way life is, guess what? That is the way life is. No solution. But immediately you believe that there is a solution to this problem and you are going to find it the moment the doors open. Okay. And that is from Dr. Schwartz. Number 3. This is very, I've been excited with this one from Muhammad Ali. I figured that if I said it enough, I would convince the world that I really was the greatest. You see, he believed he may not necessarily be the greatest. I mean, you may not necessarily be the greatest, but if you said it enough, people will begin to think you are the greatest. You see, that is the magic of affirmation. You see, so let us learn from Muhammad Ali. And today, when we look at Muhammad Ali, everyone says, at least those of us who grew up in his generation, we say he is the greatest. See, that is the way it works. It is number 4. It is the repetition of affirmations that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. You see? So these are the things is the repetition. The moment you continue to, how do I explain this? When children, we promise, okay, let's take somebody, say a child of about 12 years old who wants to act. And all of a sudden, an opportunity comes up that he will be taken to Hollywood. Yeah. You know, that child will always be thinking about Hollywood. No effort is required because that is what he wants to do. So nature helps us to think about the things we want to achieve when that desire is in alignment with the source of our lives. Do you get that? See? So no effort is required on that 12-year-old child because that is what he wants. So automatically he thinks about it every minute, every hour, every day. And before you know it, he is in Hollywood and he's doing what he has ever dreamed to do. So we'll come back to this idea, and that is where the affirmation we are talking about is not the spontaneous affirmation that nature helps us, but the conscious affirmation to help you to lose weight, to help you to improve your finances, to help you to get employment, to help you to do the things that you need to do. Those are the ones we are talking about. Yeah, number 5. You become what you think about most of the time. We should learn this from Brian Tracy. We become what we think about most of the time. And we really should be careful of our thoughts. It is true that we become what we think about. Okay, and this is from Albert Einstein. Your imagination is your preview of life's coming attractions. Yeah, Einstein is great at imagination. He thinks it is the greatest. And if you really look at the world, yeah, a lot of the people who are at the top are the people who are able to create their world now before it happens. Mm-hmm. They create it in the crucible of their minds, you see. And that is why Einstein is so great about imagination. Let us use our imaginations to create our lives. Okay, number 7. If you think you can do it, or think you can't do it, you are right. If you think you can do a thing, or think you cannot, or you can't do a thing, you are right. These from Henry Ford. So, in other words, life is just what you make of it. Whatever you think happens as you. I think we have a biblical statement like that. And Jesus, before he cures or he heals any person, he tells them, let it happen as you believe. You see, so whatever you think will happen to you. So we really have to be watchful about those thoughts, however spontaneous they may be. We have the conscious control to redirect the thoughts, more especially when those thoughts are not for our advantage. Okay, number 8. Watch your manner of speech if you wish to develop a peaceful state of mind. Start each day by affirming peaceful, contented, and happy attitudes, and your days will tend to be pleasant and successful. Everything stems from the mind, and this is Norman Vincent Peale. So that's a good advice. This is a very good one. Number 9. As long as you know what it is you desire, then by simply affirming that it is yours, firmly and positively, with no ifs or buts or maybes, over and over again, from the minute you arise in the morning until the time you go to sleep at night, and as many times during the day as your work or activities permit, you will be drawn to those people, places, and events that will bring your desire to you. See, this, in fact, this from Scott Reed. This sums it all up. What you need to do. There is repetition, there is constancy. You have to stick to it. There is repetition. And the moment the idea, the desire consumes you, you are thinking about it all the time. It takes you to places. People begin to appear in your lives that are going to help you. That is for those who do not have the resources. And you'll be amazed how, as if the whole idea has taken on a mind of its own and is going like clockwork. You see, at that point you have arrived. And don't rock the boat, just go with the flow. And number 10, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Okay. Do what you have to do is the one that needs a qualification. Do what you have to do doesn't mean you have to go and rob the bank to realize your dreams. No. It's just the little things that you need to do. For instance, you are maybe a foreigner who wants to come to America. Yeah. There are certain, and you don't have the resources, but you want to walk the streets of the United States. So there are certain things you need to do. You find out about the immigration requirements. You find out about passport in your country requirements. Of course, the minimum requirements. And you start doing those things that are within your reach. Then you leave about traveling to the United States to the mystery. So there are many. I will have this in the newsletter so that you can read the rest on your own. But the next one, the sacred texts are also not silent about affirmations. See, the first two are from the Tanakh. One is from Proverbs, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And that is Proverbs 23:7. Yeah. So that is where affirmations help you to change the negative thoughts you have. Because the Tanakh tells us, as you think in your heart, so you are. As we have read from some of the other quotes. Okay, the other one that should encourage you to change your thoughts is that what you decide on will be done, and light will shine on your ways. And that is also from the Tanakh. The Tanakh, by the way, is the Old Testament of the Christian Bible. And that is from Job 22:28. Okay? What you decide on will be done, and light will shine on your ways. So have that in mind as you go about your dreams. Now the most important one, number 3, is from the Dhammapada. Actually, it is the very first statement in the Dhammapada. What we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday. And our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Our life is the creation of our minds. So have these, think about this, more especially as it relates to the things that you want to change in your life. Yeah, this is putting the ball in your court. You are going to decide what you are going to do with the ball. We have given you all the necessary tools you need. So you have to begin to work on what you need to change. And believe it or not, it will change. Now, the teaching story. Our teaching story comes from Karen Ellis of Oregon. Once upon a time, Karen started dieting in her teen years and continued up to her 50s. Her problem was that dieting was not working for her anymore, and she has gained 8 pounds. She decided to use affirmation to maintain her weight, but first she must lose the 8 pounds she gained recently. So she wrote an affirmation which showed that she was 8 pounds lighter than her current weight. You have to write your affirmation, of course. She repeated the affirmation several times before going to sleep at night and when she woke up in the morning. She also repeated the affirmation throughout the day and when she woke up at night. Some of us wake up at night. Like if you want to go to the bathroom, that's a time to repeat the affirmation. Unfortunately, nothing happened after 2 weeks. But after 3 weeks, the 8 pounds were gone. In other words, she didn't say, well, this is not working. She didn't say that. She continued. And after 3 weeks, she lost the 8 pounds. Next, she went for 10 pounds. She wanted to lose 10 pounds. She repeated the affirmations for 2 months, but again, nothing happened. She was disappointed, but changed her strategy. She changed the affirmation from 10 pounds to 5 pounds. She wants to be 5 pounds lighter. But that was not all. She also repeated the affirmation more times than she had done in the past. So she was using almost all her waking moments, repeating. Any time it comes to her mind, repeating the affirmation that she is 5 pounds lighter. Within 15 days, she was able to lose the 5 pounds. Okay, this is how Karen describes her experience. The interesting thing is that I eat whatever I want. I have neither gained nor lost a pound. It seems that my unconscious belief that I weigh the last amount I affirmed to it, no matter what. No matter what she ate, she remained the same. Or at least until I convince it further. I hope this encourages others to try this method. Of course, you must be willing to stick to it and not give up after a few days. After all, think of how long you've been telling your subconscious mind that you are fat and that you are living in a diet famine. So what did you learn from Karen? Number 1 is continuous repetition of the affirmation. And number 2 is time. Time. Do not lose hope. And number 3 is do not say you want to lose all the weight you will need to lose. Take it a little at a time. So those are the things we learned from this story. So the conclusion. If you grew up in a poor family and you begin to believe that there is no difference between you and poverty, chances are that you would remain poor for the rest of your life. However, if you believe that poverty is a circumstance that does not equate to who you really are, you could change your life. The idea that things are possible is strange to many people, including me before. They believe that you have to appease the gods before you could achieve anything in life. So they go to witch doctors to make them charms to help them to succeed. Once a friend told me that he was not succeeding in life because he believes his ex-wife charmed him. My secret thought was, you live in the United States and you still believe in witchcraft? It is possible many people still believe that others are responsible for their failures in life. The truth is that it is this belief that is holding you down. Nobody is responsible for your failure. You can imagine you can change it through affirmations and change your life. In other words, if you hold that belief, you can change it around through affirmations. About a year or so after I had that conversation with my friend, he called again. This time, he got a job with the United States government. My secret thought was, has the charm from his ex-wife stopped working? Join us next time for another presentation on meditations. Thank you for listening, and may you experience cosmic peace in the name of love, the earth, and the universe. Meditations is sponsored by Unism. Unism, one love, one planet, one people. For more information on this presentation, please visit unism.org. Thank you.